The single most dangerous thing in a nuclear war isn't the bomb. It's your own curiosity. Right now, an emergency alert flashes on your phone. You have exactly 5 minutes and 23 seconds before the first warhead detonates. That initial alert is your final, desperate warning. The first instinctive thing 99% of people will do is run toward the window. And in doing so, they will guarantee their own death. They will die not from the explosion, but because they simply had to look. The air will crackle with static. A flash brighter and hotter than the core of the sun will erase the horizon, and you'll just stare. This is the great paradox of survival. To live through the brightest, most violent light in human history, you must instantly embrace total darkness and concealment. You are not fighting a military target. You are fighting the laws of physics themselves, and they are unforgiving. I am going to show you how to neutralize physics and earn your minute 6. The physics of instant obliteration. Forget every romanticized image of nuclear apocalypse you've seen in movies. This isn't one grand event, it is a rapid, phased, 3-wave physical assault, each wave demanding a specific, immediate countermeasure. The first wave is the thermal pulse. The incinerating wave of thermal energy travels at the ultimate velocity of light, 186,000 miles per second, meaning the moment you detect the flash, the heat is already upon you. The second wave is the blast front. This is a wall of compressed air, an overpressure wave that moves faster than the speed of sound, which doesn't just push buildings over. It crushes them into dust and turns ordinary objects into supersonic shrapnel. The third wave, the slowest and longest-lasting threat, is the radioactive fallout. This is the invisible poison, the irradiated debris that will rain from the sky for days, contaminating everything it touches. You cannot win the war. You can only survive the first 300 seconds by understanding how to defeat these 3 waves in the precise order they arrive. Phase 1. Defeating the light, thermal radiation. Let's begin with Wave 1, the light. That flash is not just illumination. It is a torrent of thermal radiation and soft gamma rays, a massive discharge of heat peaking at tens of millions of degrees at its epicenter. The key is that the light travels instantly. If you can see the sky, the light has already arrived. If you look directly at it, the intensity of the light is so concentrated that the fluid in your eyes is superheated, and your retinas are not just damaged. They are instantly vaporized, leading to permanent darkness or flash blindness if you are lucky enough to be miles away. This is why the first defense is purely psychological. Do not look. The 1950s civil defense advice, duck and cover, was fundamentally sound because it is based on physics. You must immediately get mass between yourself and the fireball. Any mass. A thick concrete wall is your best shield, as its density absorbs the thermal energy and blocks the radiation. A deep ditch is excellent. Even lying behind the engine block of a parked car or the dense core of a commercial building's stairwell can save your life. Mass is your primary shield. Your clothing is the second line of defense against the flash. That black polyester shirt you're wearing just became a death sentence. Dark colors absorb nearly all thermal energy, guaranteeing they will instantly ignite. Or, worse, the synthetic fabric will superheat and melt directly onto your skin, creating a searing, inseparable third-degree burn known as a synthetic skin graft. Conversely, white or light-colored, loose-fitting cotton or wool clothing can reflect a crucial percentage of that heat. This is the albedo effect, the measure of a surface's reflectivity, and it is the only fashion consideration that matters when the sun comes crashing to Earth. If you are caught outside and are near any body of water, a pool, a river, a pond, you must immediately submerge yourself. Water is a phenomenal heat sink because of its high specific heat capacity. It will absorb the massive thermal spike better than air, instantly boiling the surface but protecting the organic matter, your body, beneath it from combustion. You will steam like a dumpling, but you will not burst into flame like a dry leaf. You are not hiding from a light. You are shielding your cellular structure from a focused thermal ray. Phase 2. Surviving the wall of air, the blast wave. You've survived the initial flash, you are not blind, and you are not on fire. You have perhaps 1 or 2 seconds to prepare for the second wave, the blast front. This is not simply a strong wind, it is a solid physical wall of violently compressed atmosphere, an overpressure wave traveling faster than sound, which flattens structures through sheer force. You need to understand the destructive pressure gradient. A mere 2 pounds per square inch, psi, of overpressure will shatter every window within miles, turning the glass into deadly, high-velocity shrapnel. 5 psi is enough to rupture human eardrums and completely collapse most wooden frame residential structures. 10 psi will flatten reinforced brick and masonry buildings. At 25 psi or more, you are functionally converted into a collection of rapidly moving molecules. The blast wave also kills through differential pressure. It seeks to equalize the massive pressure difference between the outside air and the pressure inside your body. If your mouth is closed, your internal organs and air-filled cavities, your lungs, your eardrums, will rupture. They will simply pop. The solution is mandatory and immediate. Get as low as possible, face down, and open your mouth wide. Yell, scream. This simple, primal action allows the blast wave to equalize the pressure, giving the air a path through you rather than into you, protecting your fragile internal organs. Getting low is crucial not just to avoid the direct pressure, but to avoid the secondary killer, flying debris. The blast front turns the entire city into a massive, concentrated shotgun blast made of glass, steel, bricks, and wood, all traveling at lethal velocity. The lower you are, in a ditch, a gutter, or below ground level, the better your chances of avoiding being struck by this catastrophic high-velocity shrapnel. You are seeking the lowest possible aerodynamic profile. Phase 3, the electronic apocalypse, the EMP. While the shockwave is still rattling your environment, Wave 2.5 has already struck. The electromagnetic pulse, or EMP. This is the silent, instant executioner of the modern world. The gamma rays from the high-altitude detonation strike the upper atmosphere, stripping away electrons and generating a massive, instantaneous electrical field that surges toward the ground at the speed of light. Every single modern circuit in a several hundred-mile radius is instantly fried. The EMP arrives in 3 distinct components. The E1 pulse is the fastest, a sub-nanosecond spike too quick for traditional surge protectors. It acts like a massive radio wave that induces an overwhelming voltage in every small electronic circuit, immediately destroying your phone, laptop, and car's engine control unit. The E2 pulse is slower, similar to a lightning strike, but the E3 pulse is the infrastructure killer. It's a slow-moving, low-frequency pulse that induces powerful currents in long electrical conductors, like thousands of miles of high-voltage power lines and communication cables, melting every major transformer in the grid. In less than a nanosecond, the entire digital world is gone. Your phone is a brick, your car won't start. The global grid is eradicated. This is where you gain the analog advantage. That 1972 farm truck your neighbor owns with 0 electronic components, it will likely still run. Bicycles are now the most dependable transportation on the planet. Mechanical watches, paper maps, and a magnetic compass have instantly become the most advanced navigation tools in existence. Simplicity is survival. Complexity is a fatal weakness in a world ruled by the EMP. You must embrace the primitive. Phase 4, the invisible killer, fallout and shielding. You have survived the flash, the blast, and the collapse of the electronic age. The first 5 minutes are over. Now you confront the most patient and lethal enemy, radioactive fallout. The ash you see falling isn't just combustion residue. It is the pulverized, irradiated remnants of ground zero, dirt, buildings, cars, and people, all vaporized, injected miles high into the atmosphere, and now descending back to Earth. These particles are intensely radioactive, acting as tiny gamma-ray emitters that will cook you from the inside out. Your survival goal now follows the official mantra: get in, stay in, tune in. You must get into the most robust structure available. Forget potassium iodide for now. That only protects your thyroid from one specific isotope. Your immediate priority is shielding your entire body from the gamma rays. You must understand the physics of radiation attenuation through half-value layers. This is the critical measurement of how much material it takes to reduce the radiation dose by 50%. A dense material is best. It takes approximately 1 inch of lead, approximately 4 inches of solid concrete, approximately 6 inches of packed earth, up to 2 feet of wood to achieve the same result. This is why a basement is vastly superior to the ground floor, and the core of a large building is superior to a small house. You need to maximize the dense mass between you and the outside world. You must then stay in. Time is your second shield because radiation decays exponentially. This is the 7-10 rule of thumb. For every 7-fold increase in time, the radiation level drops to approximately 10% of its previous level. Specifically, after 48 hours, the radiation levels outside will have dropped to about 1% of what they were during the first hour. If you venture out before this point, you risk giving yourself a lethal, irreversible dose. Finally, tune in. You must secure a functional, analog, battery-powered, or hand-crank radio. The EMP may be gone, but the radio waves are still traveling. This is the only way you will receive critical, localized information on fallout plumes, contamination hotspots, and when, if ever, it is safe to exit your immediate shelter. The psychological war, normalcy, bias. But your greatest enemy is neither blast nor fallout. It is your own mind, specifically a cognitive error called normalcy bias. This is the phenomenon where your brain desperately tries to rationalize an extraordinary event by fitting it into a known mundane category. It's just fireworks. It must be a distant transformer. Someone is filming a movie. This need to rationalize causes hesitation, and hesitation is fatal. This is why people check social media or run to the window to film the event. They are attempting to understand, and in doing so, they miss the 2-second window they have to survive the initial wave. They see the flash and they freeze, paralyzed by their own inability to process the threat until the blast wave arrives to claim them. You must overcome this cognitive trap with immediate, non-negotiable action. The second the alert sounds, or the second you perceive the flash, you do not analyze. You do not think. You immediately execute a pre-drilled survival sequence. You drop. You cover. You open your mouth. You move toward the deepest mass available. You must become a survival machine driven purely by instinct and physics. You are now a fortress, and your first job is to seal the breach. The 5-minute verdict. In 5 minutes, the world you knew is irrevocably gone. The fragile systems of communication, commerce, and governance have vanished. All that remains are the brutal, impartial laws of physics: thermal radiation, overpressure, and radioactive decay. These are your new masters. You are no longer defined by your job title or your bank account. You are a survivor who must navigate a world that is actively trying to kill you with compressed air and invisible rays. Physics doesn't care about your feelings. It only rewards those who respect its power and obey its rules. Learn them, drill them, and you might just earn yourself -6 and the terrifying chance at a new future. What is the one analog tool or skill you believe is the most critical for survival in a post-EMP world? Let me know in the comments. The most practical and defensible answer will earn the respect of the survivors.